Good afternoon. My name is David Phillips. My story takes place in a post-apocalyptic war era. It is a story of hope and revival, in which one boy realizes his potential and reminds us of our obligation to help those around us. For the sake of time, I've removed a few things and made minor changes, but the same message and setting is still apparent. With that, I will begin. In most stories, the protagonist combats a villain, a bad guy. My story is unique, unheard of, you might say. Whether that's because I'm chronicling these past few events on napkins, or whether it's because I live in a trampled American civilization. That's up to you to decide. It all started when I awoke. Ashes, leathery smoke, and pandemonium enveloped my senses. My enemy is despair, not a desperado, and I live in a world of war. With the nuclear war being, well, nuclear, my home was fortunate. The little town I lived in had been blazed to the ground by a fire in the surrounding pastoral land. Of course there was no accident. The intruders counted this as mercy. They were so blasé about shattering our lives. The very dream that once exuded out of America's pores was gone, lost in some distant place that would take generations to recover. My fellow Americans' purpose would have to be instilled from within. My name's Jaden, and was in 8th grade. My house is currently a shanty that my sister, grandmother, and I constructed because, during the confusion, our entire town was incinerated. Back when life was normal, I had a neighbor named Peter. He told me about an idea that had been stamped, paying it forward. I never thought such a simple, benevolent deed could reverse my situation from bedlam to hope. Boy, are you hungry? A haggard man approached me. Why, yes, sir, I believe we all are. Hesitantly, oh so hesitantly, I replied. Where was I to run? Who was I to ask for help if this strange moment went awry? I'm an old man, and I have nothing left to give this torn country except these 2 cans of soup. Take these and spread what I have done for you. With that, the man hobbled up and probably perished. The drained man who approached me ended up changing my life. It took me a few months of pondering, but I realized the task of paying it forward had been left to me. Where was I supposed to start? In the sweltering heat of July, I paid it forward for the first time. The younger children in my community always romped around in the big piles of soot. I had been watching for a little bit now. What else was there to do while shoveling ash off of the usable soil? Most of the pre-adolescents stuck together. However, there were 2 sisters ostracized from the others. Sometimes a sadistic orphan would snatch a carrot just to be swatted away by the older sister. And by I could see the sisters diminishing slowly, and I knew this was a primary place of action. Fatigued, I hiked to their cranny in the community's remnants, and immediately the elder sibling cooked herself with a broomstick and barked, "What do you want? We have so little for ourselves. Just leave us alone." I drew the can of mushroom soup out from behind me and rolled it to the younger sister. She looked to be about 8 or 9. She cautiously stepped off of her stump seat and held the can like a newborn child, while glancing up at her sister, as if for approval from a judge. "Is this another one of those detrimental jokes, Jaden?" I defensively replied, for she still held the broom handle with a frightening amount of protectiveness. "I want to help you. The same was done for my family a while back, and if all goes well, you can repeat the process." With that, I withdrew toward my shanty. "Wait," she called out. "What is that supposed to mean?" I deciphered my cryptic message. "Pay it forward." When I glanced back a second time, they'd retreated back into the walls of their tin home. But I knew I had done well. A few weeks later, I decided to gift the last can of soup to an elderly couple who had a hard time obtaining food. While the rest of us were starting to get a hold on life and sustenance, our elders were still having a hard time with the manual labor. When I went to offer them the soup, things took an unexpected turn. As soon as I presented the can of soup, the elderly man smiled and shook his head. "Aren't you hungry?" I questioned. "Of course we were, but not anymore," he eagerly replied. I was confused, but he stepped aside to reveal a flourishing garden, and tending to the garden were the 2 sisters that I had once assisted. I couldn't do anything but laugh as I knelt down and helped them. That same night, the entire community had joined, and everyone contributed to make a shared pot of soup. Of course, I contributed the final can I possessed. As I sat, sipping my meal, I recalled the grief that once afflicted everyone around me, but I knew, without a doubt, that I had done well. Thank you.